All right, well, time for a little update. So, I think we're finally headed in the right direction. One thing I forgot to mention in the last video was that part of what was kind of holding things up too was that it was taking forever to try to find that little plug that goes in down over here. See if I can move around here and see. It's kind of hard to see, but right there is a weird hole that is like an oil valley hole. And so when they had the heads apart and were working on them, they took that out, but didn't seem to, the place didn't seem to know what size it was, or what it was called, or where to get one, or anything like that. So it took forever for one to be found, and finally taking some pictures and sending it to a friend of mine at the dealership, who sent it to a Ford engineer, and he finally figured out what it was and the part number for the little plugs that go in there. And originally I thought the plug was going to be too small, but as you saw, it goes up inside there pretty far before it tightens down. So that was something I forgot to mention the last week too, that was kind of causing me problems, but we finally figured that out, got that taken care of, and it took me most of the week to try to get the cams in right, so it would turn over better and to get them aligned and all that kind of stuff. But I think I finally got that taken care of, because now when I turn it over with the torque wrench, about 70 pounds or so, and she turns over pretty good and pretty easily. I turned it over a couple times, full 360, and it seems to turn over without issues. Pretty steady on that same torque all the way around. At no point does it, do I grunt hard, to turn it over or anything like that. So I think we are good on that. Also did a leak down test recommended by a friend of mine, and just to make sure that none of the valves got bent if they did actually hit or had some issues there, and did not seem to have any issues with that. Obviously, the engine hasn't been run yet, so the rings haven't fully seated and sealed and everything. But with those total seal rings and gapless rings in there, when I did the leak down test, I was getting about 7% loss on about half of the cylinders, and the other half was about 12% loss. So that is really good. Anything, from what I understand, anything under 20% is good, and I was at 7 and 12%. So, and with that, like I said, without even the engine being run for the rings to fully seat. So I think we are looking pretty good. So she should have hopefully a pretty good seal on it now. So hopefully when I get it back in, I do compression this time, test this time, she'll have really good compression. So that's kind of where we're at. So I got, like I said, got the cams in, got the chains on, the cover on, got the valve covers on, the water pump, got the balancer on. Oh, and I did realize when I was taking things apart, which is actually a good thing, I guess I did have this issue, the the extra part of the balancer here, the front part for the extra accessories and stuff, I had forgotten to tighten those bolts fully down when I put it together last time, so that would have been very bad. So actually, in a way, I guess silver lining there, that I found that. So I got those tightened down. Like I said, there's a couple comments, or a couple of the, sorry, somebody was commenting to me on the YouTube comments that about making sure that the valves didn't get bent or anything like that. And so he said, given the fact that the leak down test came back so good, I don't think I have any bent valves or valve seats or stems or anything, because if I did, I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't be sitting right, and I would have gotten a pretty significant leak. So I believe that is all done now correctly, or everything is good, I should say. So just getting it back together. Just got a few extra pieces to put on. I have the alternator, the alternator to put on, and a couple extra pieces, and then hopefully should be able to get it in the car and get it mated up to the transmission, and then start getting everything back together and stuff like that, and hopefully get it started. So that's kind of where things are at. It seems like there was something else that I wanted to mention. And now I'm drawing a blank on what it was. Shoot, I'm just trying to think here for a quick second. Oh, that's what it was. The other thing I did, as long as I had it apart and everything, was I did order from Lethal Performance a kit that goes on the front here that protects the front of the crankshaft from flexing or stuff, especially when you really start leaning on it with this positive displacement supercharger there, and you got all that torque and stuff that's hanging out on the front there, and putting pressure on the front there of the crankshaft and the balancer and stuff, and you can cause some damage there. Like so, when you really start putting some good pressure on it and stuff with a smaller pulley and really start leaning on it. So Lethal Performance makes a kit that goes over that balancer and gives some extra support with a special high-speed bearing that kind of sits inside of there a little bit, so that kind of helps it ride on that high-speed bearing. And like I said, gives extra support to the front. So the only thing is, the guy at Lethal Performance said it's meant to work with a factory-style radiator, not mine that is a extra large radiator. So we'll have to see if there's enough room in there, because it does stick out a little bit from the front. So I will see when I get that. I'll know. I won't even have to start it. I'll know as soon as I put it on, and then when I get it in the car and then go to put the radiator and fan in, if it's going to hit or not, I'll know right away. Because I won't even get everything together before I know whether that's going to work or not. So, but that is about where we were at. So I will end it off there, but kind of just wanted to give a little shout out to those. Thanks for the comments about, like I said, checking the valves and all that kind of stuff. Good ideas. I appreciate that. And thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll have even better news at the next video, that it'll be in and we'll be on our way to starting it and getting driving after a year of being down. So again, thanks for watching, and bye.